I'm going to try to still make.
Hey. Hi, everyone. How are you? Happy, today's Tuesday. It is noon, and I cannot wait to share with you this wonderful story of a business partner that I met through my online business. Her name is Janna, and today in Hello There with Gwen, I want to dedicate this whole month to women because this month is Women History Month, and I will be interviewing different women from all walks of life. Women that I've met through my time as being an entrepreneur, women that I've known in my real life. And I want to ask them, just questions that are women related. And so today I have Janna. Janna is a mother of two who I met through this online business. And the funny thing is that I did not realize that she and I have very similar goals and dreams. And, it is amazing to see so many moms out there who have something similar as me, but we met through this online business. So Janna worked as an insurance 8 years ago. She started this business 2 years ago, just like me. She wants to be able to be home with her boys just like me, and she wants to help retire her husband early just like me. That's the wonderful thing about this business. We attract each other. We all have the same goals and mindset to work towards our biggest why, which is our family. So, today, let's start. Janna, would you like to say hello to everyone before I jump into all these questions about, your life?
Sure. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you guys. Yeah, I'm from BC. I live here with my husband and my 2 kids, and I'm excited about this interview.
Okay. Usually we would do interview about our business, but today I'm changing it up a little bit. I feel that, as women, we have so much to give, right? So much that we can do. And there's always someone who we look up to. And I want to know, Janna, can you tell me who a woman, women in your life that you look up to and why?
That is a good question. There's actually quite a few. Oh. The one that I want to point out is my aunt. She owns a very successful business. It's not online, but she's also just the most loving, caring, humble lady. And she never seems stressed. She's always like present in whatever she's currently working on. And her house really feels like a home. Like when you walk in, you're just like, how? And
that warm feeling, right?
Yeah. And she also has a very close relationship with God, but she's got like just everything going for her and everything's working out. And yeah, so yeah, that's one person that I really look up to.
So do you ever, go up to her and ask her what's her secret?
Yeah, she's actually given me like quite a bit of advice and stuff in different situations. And she's just really, really wise. And I think it's just because she has just this really strong relationship to God, and she like sets time apart to really focus on that and prioritizes that. And I feel like everything else just kind of flows from that. And I've had some like experience with that too. Yeah.
I think it's more like the faith that she has that embodies her life, and it kind of, helps her think clearly and to be able to be more focused on the good versus bad. That's why you feel
exactly. Yeah.
And since you've been a mother of your oldest son is, you told me 5.
He's turning 5 this year. Yeah.
And the youngest. So as a parent, as mom, is there anything that you regret so far raising your kids, and or there's something that you've done in raising your oldest that you would do differently with the second one?
Yes, actually, there's a big difference in so when I was pregnant, actually, I would say when I was on maternity leave with my first son, that's when I kind of started looking for like opportunities for work from home, because I was like, I just can't imagine like bringing him to the daycare and being elsewhere for the majority of my time. Like I always felt like we have a bigger purpose and we're not supposed to, especially as moms or parents, to like work 80% of the time to then just like, be there for that little. I feel like it's like our job to pretty much shape their future and like equip them with all these things. And so for me, it was like, okay, I need to find something. And I tried a few things, but it was very time consuming. And I just had like a new baby and I thought I'm going to do this while he's little so that I can, be present for the majority of their lives. And so I started like an Etsy shop, but I was working like 11 hours from home and my baby was just kind of like watching me. He was very easygoing, but I wasn't like just focused on him and present for him and, singing songs and reading books 24/7 or whatever, and so I did do the daycare thing because that work from home was just not cutting it. Like it wasn't enough to live month to month. Because where I live, it's very expensive and both my husband and I would have to work full time. And so I went back to work in insurance and I did the whole daycare thing for 1 year. And now it's interesting because when I look back at my years of motherhood, like I can think of all the things we did during the last 2-3 years. But the year where my son was in daycare, I just feel like there was like this disconnect.
That's right.
I just wasn't actually, maybe just my subconscious was present or something. Like I wasn't fully there and enjoying being a mom and enjoying his presence and stuff. So yeah, like thinking back to that, the years where I've been like now doing this business and I'm home with them and I have so much more time to focus on them, it's been life-changing, like completely different. So if I could change one thing, I would go back and not do the daycare thing. I would probably even just stay home and just make it work somehow to be there and to not miss those milestones.
I totally get it because I see a lot of parents going through the same thing, and I think that what you're talking about, the when you couldn't remember the first few years of his childhood because you were so busy trying to make a living and trying to catch up to your job and your work and trying to, feed him. But then all those times in between, you didn't have any time much to spend with him. Just like a lot of parents who, I totally get the hardship that a lot of moms have to go through, dropping your kids off at school and then, they do whatever they do there and you bring them home. But at the time when you bring them home, you have to prepare dinner, you have to prepare, all these other things the next day, lunch and all. So everything gets in the way. And the time that you actually spent with them is very little. And so the disconnection happens there. You don't remember, and they probably don't remember those moments either.
Yeah.
But thankfully now they're older, their memory is better and you're around. So that's a great thing.
It's awesome. Like my 5-year-old, we will do something and or walk by somewhere where we've been and he'll be like, oh, Mom, remember this? Oh, we should go to the pumpkin patch. Remember we were at the pumpkin patch?
My son does the same thing.
That specific one was like 2 years ago and he knows, like, yes. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, their memory is great. That's why they say the first 5 years is very important, is that because kids remember all those great memories and then it's a recollection for them. So, and then you already mentioned one of the things you love most about this business that you've gotten into is to be able to be home with kids. What else do you love about what you do?
I absolutely appreciate the flexibility that comes with my work because just being able to choose our own schedule and actually having the time to not only be there for my kids, like I will work when they're napping or in bed because it doesn't require a lot of time. But aside from that, I also have time to actually focus on me and do the things that I like and do hobbies or community things and really focus on making my house a home because I'm not just like working or being stressed with my kids. It's more easygoing with my kids because I set my full focus on them. I'm not like thinking about business things and trying to do other things in my mind while being there with them. So the flexibility for me is huge. Like even in situations where like, my children are sick or my husband is actually sick right now. So I'm caring for him, but my business is still running in the background. So that, and then the other thing, like if we visit, we have family that lives like further away. So whenever we go visit, I can hop on and just pop in for 1 hour or 1 or 2 hours a day and just work on my business remotely. And I can still be present for the rest of the time that we're spending there.
That's awesome, because that's kind of similar to what my life is like.
Yeah.
So, and then, so how do you schedule yourself, your work-life balance? We all know it's one of the most sought out thing right now is to have a work-life balance. So how do you schedule your work? Let's say, for example, given a day, how do you schedule your work and your life within a day?
We start with no electronics and we just hang out as a family and have breakfast. And I spend the morning totally with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then the older one has quiet time and the younger one has his nap time. So sometimes I'll do like the minimal things, like check my emails, check my business page, make a post or something. And then pretty much the rest of the day we're spending with our kids doing whatever, either hiking or going to the park or whatever we want to do that day. And when they go for bedtime, which is 6:30, 7-ish, that's when I'll take like a full hour that I block away time where I actually focus on business and brainstorm and do the thinking part of it. Mm-hmm. And I don't even do that every day. Like I give myself grace and I'm flexible in that area because I don't want to overload myself, because I've had that too, where I'm just like, it's not even the load, it's just the excitement, because I'm so focused on business that I just get so excited. And then I think about that a lot. And then I'm kind of not fully present during the other times. So, I mean, yeah, flexibility totally helps, but you also have to set aside time to do the things that you love and just like where you're not thinking about business or your kids, and just do the things that you feel you're like called to do or things that you're gifted with, and focus on your hobbies and stuff.
Okay. And so what is it that you think is the key to success in this business that you do, your role as a mentor and a coach in your business? What is the key for success?
Leading by example. Also, there can be a lot of tasks and it can be overwhelming, especially, with a balancing work and family and stuff. But for me, when I prioritize my tasks, so at the beginning of the day, like I'll look at all the things that need to get done or the errands I need to run or whatever. And I kind of prioritize in importance. Like I like to start my day focusing on myself, like my self-growth, as in like reading scripture or listening to worship music, like just having a very relaxed morning where I'm focusing on me, not looking at social media right from the beginning of the day. And so, yeah, I feel like when you have that foundation, everything else kind of falls into place. Same with the faith that we were speaking about earlier. And having patience and doing things with love, I think, giving yourself grace and giving other people that you work with grace as well. But definitely showing up and being consistent with the business, but definitely prioritizing.
I know.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Prioritizing is one of the biggest problem that a lot of people have is, when you are an entrepreneur, prioritizing is one of the toughest things, because you kind of want to do everything and get it done. And then you realize, wait, you can't just do everything and get it done in one day. So you kind of like, it's like you have your control of your own schedule. And that's when you work yourself so much as an entrepreneur. And that's the prioritizing is very, very important. And you're so right. And I do know this stat for myself too.
Yeah, I'll have like a to-do list that's so long because I just want to get all these things done. But then I'm like, I can't do all this in one day, like realistically. So I'll take those things and like schedule them out over the week so that I'm not just like stressed and thinking about them the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great advice, Janna. And, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to our interview today. And Janna is someone that I just met recently, and I'm so glad that I get the chance to talk to her and to get to know her a little bit. And she's very successful in our business. And, one thing about women moms in our business that we all wanted something of our own. We all wanted to be able to help our family and be with our kids. So, Janna, any other advice to moms out there who's struggling to have a work-life balance, and anything for them to think of to have to find a better work-life balance for themselves?
Yeah, I would say if you're somebody who's working like more than 5 or 6 hours a day, like consider looking for something where like do research and find your own thing. I'm not saying like do this business, like we are successful people sharing what has worked for us. And it could work for you too. Like it doesn't hurt to take 90 minutes of your time and watch a webinar and get more information to see if this might be a good fit for you. But if you're working more than that amount of time in a day, you're going to be stressed, you're going to be overwhelmed, you're going to have anxiety, like, and you're going to feel like a terrible mom probably too, because you can't be fully present for your kids with that rate. Like when I was working full time, I was stressed, I was burned out like all the time. And the life that I'm living now compared to what it used to be, I can't, like my heart is just so full of gratitude. Sincerely, like I could never, ever go back to working in insurance, and not for alone the reason of not being present with my kids, but just of having the stress that I had in my previous job and in traffic and all that comes with it. So I would say, yeah, in order to really work on your house and stuff and your home and be a good mom, and I know that we all still want to contribute, you know, financially and help with our bills and stuff like that. So definitely look for something, because there's so many opportunities online where there's minimal time required. Like with this business, I actually thought, you know, if I don't work the 8 hours in my insurance job, I'll just like plug into this system for 8 hours and I could make like so much money and stuff. But it's not like that. It's like 2 hours maximum, because there's not much more to do. Most of it is automated. And so that's where like my view kind of changed, even as being a mom. Like I started loving hanging out with my kids, spending quality time, doing fun things like crafting and just coming up with new fun, exciting things for my kids. And but it's because I have the time to do that. And I know that people who work a 9 to 5, for them, it's stressful. They just want to come home and relax and do nothing. And so you could even start something like this on the side and just work like half an hour to an hour on it per day. And then eventually it could actually replace your earnings. So definitely there's nothing that you have to risk if you want to see the opportunity.
That's
and it might be something you've been looking for
yes.
your entire life.
You never know. Things happen for a reason. And thank you so much, Gwen, for tuning into Hello There with Gwen. I'll get back to you to another episode next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.